What's going on, everyone? So today we got to talk about AVANTIS. We are down 3.8% in the last 24 hours. We're going to talk about what happened, where I think this is about to go now. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none is financial advice. Go ahead, become a member of the channel, only $9.99 per month. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So as you guys can see, yes, we are down 3.8% in the last 24 hours, still up 7% in the last 2 weeks. So that's, that's something. That's got to count for something. But yeah, we're still down pretty much 48% in the last 30 days. Volume's decent at 83 million. Market cap decent at 168 million. But I want to talk about a few things here. So this is a article, well, not article, but this is a post posted by BitGo. It says institutional custody for AVANTIS is now live on BitGo. AVANTIS brings crypto and real world assets together through unified on-chain markets built on Base. This edition gives institutions secure, compliant access to the AVANTIS platforms. So they're allowing institutional investors to invest directly into the AVANTIS ecosystem and the AVANTIS platform without, having to actually, do it themselves. So this is a very, very good thing, actually. So this is pretty bullish for AVANTIS in the long term. But as of right now, I kind of have the feeling that we have already reached the bottom here in AVANTIS, right? I have the feeling that the bottom might actually be at 47 cents. Now, is there still a possibility of going to 40 cents or 27 cents or 28 cents? Yeah, there's always that possibility. But I do think we might have found a good base here. So as you can see here, with we had two bullish patterns here, or two bearish patterns, a rising wedge and a symmetrical triangle, both are a rising wedge and a descending triangle, both bearish patterns. And that's why we're pushing down actively here. So we might end up at 57 cents soon, or we might just, end up stopping here, right? And let's go ahead and take off all this bearish stuff because, we already know we just now broke down out of a rising wedge, out of a symmetrical triangle. But now looking at the charts and what we have here, is there anything that you notice here? Well, one thing that could possibly be right, but maybe not, because remember, the price can still drop down more from here. So, you can't just go assuming that you have a pattern forming when, something like this is happening. But if I had to say, what does it look like we're doing here? This might be something that, that actually might happen here. So what are we looking at here? So for one, this isn't like a structured wedge pattern, right? This isn't like a structured wedge pattern. This is kind of like out of the ordinary. So this might not even be right here. So that's one thing you got to remember. So if this was a proper wedge pattern, this would be an ascending triangle. As you can see here, this is the ascending triangle. If this was a proper ascending triangle, this is what it would be. I would say that there's a possibility that this is, and remember, an ascending triangle is a bullish pattern. And as you can see here, the success rate of an ascending triangle is 72.77% to the upside. And then the descending triangle that I showed you before was only a 72.93%, so it has a higher chance. But we still have a very high chance with the ascending triangle. It's 72.77%. So if this actually is an ascending triangle, we should continue on an uptrend. But remember, this could continue to go down lower and lower, but that could just extend the size of the ascending triangle. For instance, let's say it stopped right here, then we would just refocus this to be structured more like this, but it would still be an ascending triangle essentially, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. That's just one of the theories here. And then also you can see the selling pressure here kind of slowing down on the MACD. So there is a possibility that we can get some more buying momentum coming in for the charts here for AVANTIS. The short-term trend is pretty much oversold here, but could bounce back soon. The long-term trend, kind of pulling back down here a little bit. So, it's looking a little bit iffy right now. All right, guys. And then another way that we can spin this is to say, hey, we are actually inside a bearish expanding triangle. This is actually what Bitcoin is inside the macro terms of things. If you actually come over here, you can see in a macro perspective, Bitcoin is actually trading in the same pattern, right? So overall, Bitcoin is trading within a bearish expanding wedge. The bull run will probably be over by February, the end of February of 2026, which is represents all the way up here into February 2026, going into March. You can see down here at the bottom of the screen where my mouse is trying to point. So you can see down there. So yeah, around that time, we should see the crypto market probably end up crashing and peaking out by then and then crashing. So if that actually happens that way, then we also have to look at this AVANTIS. But remember, AVANTIS is only on a 4-hour chart. So all this right here only spans till November. So remember, this is like a short-term one, right? But Bitcoin is more on a macro perspective here. But remember, this price could drop a little bit more lower from here. But if this is true, we could see possibly a pump coming in here and then a drop, or we could just see the drop coming in right now. So, you gotta pick what side you're really rolling with. Do you think this is a bearish expanding triangle, or it's giving mixed signals? It really is. It's giving a lot of mixed signals here. Do you think it's a bearish expanding triangle, or do you think this is a ascending triangle? Because these are two different things. Like the bearish expanding triangle is a bearish pattern, and the ascending triangle is a bullish pattern. So which one do you think here kind of fits what we're doing the most? I think it's the bearish expanding triangle, honestly. But even the ascending triangle does look a little proper. So honestly, at this point, AVANTIS could go either way. So I would say be very careful. We have mixed signals here, two mixed patterns, the ascending triangle and then the bearish expanding triangle, two mixed patterns. So be very careful at this point. I wouldn't do anything rash. I wouldn't be buying a bunch, and I wouldn't be selling a bunch either. If you have it, just hold it. All right. If you have it, just hold it. But if you don't have it, then yeah, that's when you really gotta make the decision whether you want to buy it here. But then what if it pumps? And then you might have to buy up here. But then what if it dumps? And then you would have had the chance to buy down here. So you really have to make that decision. But in my personal opinion, there's more upside potential than downside potential at this time. Look. Even if AVANTIS goes all the way down here, all right, that's a lot. I was about to say even if it goes down to like 20 cents, but 28 cents was like the lowest I was looking at, right? 27, 28 cents. That's 56% to the downside, which is actually a lot. I ain't gonna lie, that's a lot. 56% to the downside and about 38% to the downside for 40 cents. And then to the upside, you're looking at much more upside potential than downside potential, guys. Like if we take off from there, we get back to $1.60. That's $1.57 actually. But if we get up to Fibonacci at $1.58, we're looking at 144%. 144%. Let that sink in. 144%. Now, if we get to the previous all-time high from where we're at now, you're looking at 313%. So you're looking at more upside potential than you're looking at downside potential, but 50% to the downside is still pretty serious. Well, 56%, that's still pretty serious. So, you just got to make your choice, make your bed and lay in it. It's either one of these. It could be the ascending or not. But here's one thing that I can tell you that could help your decision. We are coming into the ascending triangle from a downtrend. Typically with ascending triangles, you come into them from an uptrend. So you're coming into the ascending triangle already in an uptrend. So if you see what I'm saying here, if we're coming into it from a downtrend, then there's a possibility that it could be invalidated. It could be that 28% chance that it gets invalidated because it's coming from a downtrend. So you got to remember that too. So then you can also look at the bearish expanding triangle. So, there's a big possibility that it does go down a little bit lower, guys. There is a possibility that we see 52 cents. There is a possibility that we see 40 cents, right? And then there's also the possibility, right, that we also come up here and see $1, like see us coming up towards the top of this bearish expanding wedge. But then if that's true, we're still trading within a bearish expanding wedge. So then there's another possibility that it could dump again and then, pump again from there. So there's a whole bunch of possibilities here. at this point with AVANTIS, it's still at a pretty cheap price. You just gotta hold it at this point. You can't be too caught up on the volatility. You just gotta, if you believe in it, you just gotta hold it until you think it's gonna be good. But I would say the end of February is probably gonna be the end of the market. So guys, this is a hard decision for you guys to make. But yeah, this is all I got for you guys today. Go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. And also go ahead and become a member of the channel. It's only $9.99 per month. And I'll do a technical analysis on anything that you want me to go over. So go ahead and do that, guys. And to request me to go over a video, just leave a comment on any one of my videos once you become a member. And then I'll go over that swiftly for you. So shout out to you guys, and hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, I'll be back with another video.